Alright, welcome back YouTube. We got a little something different today. Not us all, but another piece of outdoor power equipment. Something else I got from work for free. Nursery said they wanted to get rid of this stuff. A couple of hedge trimmers and saws and stuff. I think it's probably about a year ago or so, and this stuff's just been sitting on top of scrap bins since then. Yeah, it's sun bleached from sitting so long. It's an old Tanaka hedge trimmer, 23 cc's. Not in terrible shape, but it has compression and it does run. All I had to do was put gas in it. It's gonna need some work on the fuel system. It's missing the air filter. It just needs like fuel hoses and grommets and a gas cap. It's missing the gas cap, but it does run. It doesn't run great, but it's a start. It's got spark and compression and a functioning carburetor. It just probably needs to be cleaned and have the rest of the fuel system cleaned out and hoses done. So, what are we talking, like 20 or 30 bucks into it to get the motor fully functional. But the big problem with it is the gear case for the blades. But the blades themselves are not seized up, but the gear case is. So we're gonna tear into that really quick here and see what's going on there, because if I can get that freed up, then we'll have a functioning unit. The clutch seems to grab like it's supposed to. You rev it up and it just gets to a certain speed and sits there, which is not good for the clutch, but it means it is grabbing. But the case is stuck. I did pump some grease into the case through the grease zerk right there, and water came out, so that's not good. But we're gonna see if it's fixable. If not, it might go to the dumpster. At least this half will. The engine is in good shape, so I might take that back and sit it on the shelf at work, if nothing else. I think I might have just sent a screw through the crack in the porch. That's nice. Now you can see the red grease. Might be able to see the red grease I packed in there. Ew. There's quite a bit of grease in there, actually. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about doing this. How do I get that to spin without taking it all the way apart? I really don't have very good lighting, so this is going to be difficult for you to see. Let's see. Alright, so you can see kind of a sort of a I don't know what shape you'd call that, but that's the connecting rod that goes to the blades. But that's coming straight from the gear reduction. You can't see any of that, but basically this large part is that's your big bull gear there, and there's a smaller part underneath this metal piece here that's actually the small gear where the clutch is attached to. The bearing for that gear might be seized up. That's actually most likely what the problem's going to be, unless somehow that gear, the big gear, is seizing its bearing. One way or the other, we got a seized bearing, because there's so much grease in here. The rest of this stuff looks like it would move pretty freely, so I don't know if I've got the patience to deal with scraping all this grease out of here. On a night like tonight. like I said, move out to the country, you're still not far enough away from people. The traffic's ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. Might have to do a jump cut and see what I can find out and then come back. We'll do that. Alright, so that was a quick little jump cut. Because this came apart easily. So, I already got some good news. For one, I didn't drop a screw through the cracks in the porch. I just dropped it on the porch. Other good news is, I believe we're not totally rusted solid here. You can see it moving a little bit. We're not totally rusted solid here with this gear case. And you can kind of see the blades moving. I think the blades might actually be what's stuck. Because that... More good news. It's a good thing we took apart this clutch housing because it's full of water. So it needs to be cleaned out, but the clutch looks fine. There's not a lip inside the clutch drum. And these small engines are pretty resilient sometimes. I think the two blades here, because it works like a shear, you got your blade here and a blade here, and they slide past each other. I think that it's going to be hard for you to tell, but there you go. So the blades are not rusted to the thicker piece. I don't even know what it's called. It almost is like a spine or something, like a backbone to the blades. It moves freely of that, but I think they're rusted to each other. So I'm going to have to take these, there's 5 of these bolts, 1, 2, all the way down, to take those apart and actually separate the blades. I'm not worried about them being rusty. A lot of them are. And they kind of lap together, and just get them separated so that they're not rusted together. And they'll kind of lap themselves together. You just put oil, or we actually use 2-stroke gas mix on stuff like this sometimes at the shop, because it cleans it, and it, the gas helps it penetrate in there real good. But those will clean up nice. But I think that's going to be a lot of work for tonight. I've got other things I've got to take care of, so I'm going to put this back together, and I'm going to try to separate these blades probably tomorrow night if I can. Good news is we know what we're working with, and I can look up and see how much a gas cap is, and maybe see if I can find something used. But that's good news. So I should be able to get this working and usable. Probably be back tomorrow or the day after with some updates on this one.